The morning is like water constantly flowing, ever-changing, yet holding infinite power. When I was young, training in the streets of Hong Kong, I would watch the harbor at dawn. The water taught me more than any master ever could. It showed me that true strength doesn't come from rigidity, but from perfect adaptation. I am Bruce Lee. What I share with you today isn't another technique or method to memorize. It's a truth I discovered through thousands of moments, countless hours of seeking the essence of what makes a warrior unstoppable. When water flows into a cup, it becomes the cup. When it flows into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. This same principle governs our morning consciousness. The first light of dawn is your cup. How will you flow into it? Most people resist the morning. They fight against it, trying to remain rigid like ice. But ice breaks. Water flows. In my backyard in Kowloon, practicing my forms before the sun rose, I began to understand. The morning doesn't care about your name, your style, or your achievements. Like water finding its way through cracks, the morning light seeps into every corner of your being, revealing your true nature. There's nowhere to hide, no mask to wear. It's just you, facing your reflection in the still pond of consciousness. I remember those solitary dawns, feeling the dew beneath my feet, hearing the first birds welcome the day. Even then, I knew that what separated the ordinary from the extraordinary wasn't what they did when the world was watching. It was what they became in those silent moments, when the only witness was their own spirit. Your morning is like an empty vessel. If you fill it with rigid thoughts and predetermined limitations, it becomes a prison of your own making. But if you empty your mind, if you become formless and shapeless like water, each dawn becomes a gateway to infinite possibility. The morning can flow through you, or it can crash against you. The choice is yours. Let me share with you what the water taught me about these sacred hours, not as someone who mastered the morning, but as one who learned to flow with it. While others saw the sunrise as the end of rest, I discovered it to be the beginning of transformation. Remember, water, in its gentlest form, can carve through solid rock, not through force, but through persistence. Your morning practice is the same. It's not about aggressively dominating the day, but about flowing persistently toward your true potential. Are you ready to become like water, my friend? The power of dawn. In my years of training, I discovered that each hour of the morning carries its own energy, its own significance. But it was the hour before sunrise, what the ancient Chinese called Zi-Shi, the hour of midnight's water that held the greatest power. When I trained in the streets of Hong Kong, an old master once told me, "Young man, you chase power like a tiger chases its prey. True power rises with the morning mist." At first, I didn't understand. Like most young martial artists, I thought power came from speed, strength, and technique. I was wrong. The dawn holds secrets that most will never discover. In those moments when night surrenders to day, there exists a perfect balance of yin and yang. This is when your qi, your life force, is most receptive to change. I learned this not from books or teachers, but from experiencing it day after day, year after year. Think of your consciousness as still water in a pond. During the day, it's disturbed by countless ripples, thoughts, worries, distractions. But in these early hours, the water is perfectly still. This stillness, this clarity, is where true power begins. The art of emptiness. When you first open your eyes, In that moment between sleep and wakefulness, most people rush to fill their minds with thoughts, plans, and worries. But I discovered something profound in that delicate moment: the art of emptiness. It begins with the breath, not the shallow breathing of sleep, but the deep, conscious breath of awareness. As I lay there, I observed my breath like a watchful guardian at a gate. Each inhale brought clarity. Each exhale released the remnants of sleep. This isn't meditation as many understand it. This is consciousness becoming conscious of itself. In those first moments, your mind is like a calm pool of water. Every thought, every intention you drop into it, creates ripples that will affect your entire day. This is why I never reached for newspapers or rushed to plan or worry. Instead, I learned to cultivate what I call the mind before thought, the warrior's body. The body is more than flesh and bone. It's an expression of the mind's intention. Each morning, as consciousness awakens, the body must follow in a dance as old as humanity itself. I begin with stillness, not the stillness of sleep, but the alert stillness of a cat before it springs. From this stillness comes the first movement, a deep breath that reaches not just the lungs, but every cell. This breath is like the first ripple in a still pond, awakening energy that has been dormant through the night. The core of a warrior. The core of a warrior isn't built in a day. It's forged in the fire of countless mornings. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. The most powerful training isn't always the most intense. It's the most mindful. In those early hours after awakening the body, I discovered a truth that transformed my understanding of strength. Your core, what Chinese masters call the dantian, isn't just a set of muscles. It's the center of your being, the source of all power, the spiritual essence of training. Beyond the physical, beyond the mental, lies a dimension that most warriors never reach: the spiritual essence of training. What I discovered in those solitary hours before dawn was the true key to limitless power. I learned this truth not in a temple or from a master, but in moments of pure presence, when your body moves with perfect awareness and your mind becomes still like an undisturbed pool. In those moments, something extraordinary happens. You touch the infinite. Morning nutrition, fuel for the warrior spirit. The body is like a sword, and food is the fire that tempers it. Through years of training and experimentation, I discovered that morning nutrition isn't just about eating. It's about understanding the precise moment when the body is ready to receive nourishment. In my early days, I made the mistake many warriors make: training on a full stomach or eating heavy meals immediately after practice. The ancient masters had a saying: eat like a peasant in the morning, a merchant at noon, and a king at night. But I discovered an even deeper truth. The morning body is like a dormant flame. Feed it too much, and you smother it. Feed it too little, and it weakens. The journey begins. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single morning. In my years of training, teaching, and discovering, I found that true transformation isn't about what you know. It's about what you do with what you know. Everything I've shared with you today, the mental preparation, the physical awakening, the core training, the spiritual growth, the nutritional wisdom, they are like fingers pointing to the moon. Don't focus on the fingers, or you'll miss all that heavenly glory. The morning routine I've revealed isn't just a sequence of actions. It's a gateway to discovering your own warrior path. The choice is yours. The difference between a warrior and a dreamer isn't talent, luck, or even dedication. It's the willingness to face each morning as an opportunity for transformation, to embrace discipline not as a burden, but as a path to freedom. I stand before you not as someone who achieved perfection, but as one who found a way to constant growth. Each morning is a new beginning, a new chance to express the inexpressible, to achieve the unachievable, to become the impossible. Now, the choice lies before you. Will you continue to let your mornings slip away like water through your fingers? Or will you rise tomorrow before the sun and begin this journey of transformation? Remember my words. Be water, my friend. But more than that, be the force that moves the water. Be the stillness before action. Be the power that flows without force. Be the warrior who rises before the world awakens. The morning awaits you. The path lies open. The time for action is now. This is Bruce Lee, reminding you that the real question isn't whether you can do this. The real question is, are you ready to discover who you truly are?